Rajakacharya Shtota Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Thakur Shri Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda ki Namacharya Shahidas Thakur ki Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki Shri Vrindavan Dham ki Navadvip Mayapur Dham ki Jagannath Puri ki Ganga Mai ki Jamuna Mai ki Bhakti Devi ki, Tulasi Devi ki, Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki, taking over the world, Sri Prabhupada's Transcendental Book Distribution ki, Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Sri Prabhupada. Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Vashtaya Bhutale. Srimate Bhakti Vikas Swamiti Namane. Can I have the book, please? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 9, text number 24. Srijami tapasam evam idam tapasa grasami tapasam punaham bibhrami tapasam vishwam viryam me dusharam tapaham srijami tapasai vedam grasami tapasa punaha bibhrami tapasa vishwam viryam me dusharam tapaha srijami tapasai vedam grasami tapasa punaha bibhrami tapasa vishwam viryam me dusharam tapaha srijami tapasai vedam grasami tapasa punaha bibhrami tapasa vishwam viryam me dusharam tapaha srijami tapasai vedam grasami tapasa punaha bibhrami tapasa vishwam viryam me dusharam tapaha srijami tapasai vedam grasami tapasa punaha bibhrami tapasa vishwam viryam me dusharam tapaha. Please repeat. Mataji. Srijami tapasai vedam. Sujami tapasai vedam. Ami tapasa punaha. Sai Vishwam. Dushtam tapaha. Tapasai vedam. Tapasa punaha. Okay, Sujami, I create. Tapasam, by the same energy of penance. Evam, certainly. Idam, this. Grasami, tapasam, I do withdraw also, by the same energy. Punaham, again. Bhibrami, do maintain. Tapasam, by penance. Vishwam, the cosmos. Viryam, potency. Me, my. Dusharam, severe. Tapaham, penance. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. I create this cosmos by such penance, I maintain it by the same energy, and I withdraw it by the same energy. Therefore, the potential power is penance only. In executing penance, one must be determined to return home back to Godhead, and must decide to undergo all types of tribulations for that end. Even for material prosperity, name, and fame, one has to undergo severe types of penance. Otherwise, no one can become an important figure in this material world. Why then are there severe types of penances for perfection of devotional service? I've quoted this line so many times. I really love this line. An easygoing life, an attainment of perfection, and transcendental realization cannot go together. The Lord is more clever than any living entity. Therefore, He wants to see how painstaking the devotee is in devotional service. The order is received from the Lord, either directly or through the bona fide spiritual master, and to execute that order, however painstaking, is a severe type of penance. One who follows the principle rigidly is sure to achieve success in attaining the Lord's mercy. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadam Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shrutafada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitam Shah He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swaminati Namine Pratipadamanukkalam Kashta Sadvegadami Sakalakarana Deeparadita Shri Muradri Tidharani Hitam Swikritya Sakshad Dharitvam Bhuvi Jayati Vikaso Bhakti Purvo Yatindraha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminati Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Vagisha Yasya Vadane Lakshmi Yasya Chavakshasi Yasyasya Hridaye Samvitam Nrsimham Aham Bhaje Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karti Vachalam Pangum Langai Tegim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Parmananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Yasya Deve Parabhaktir Yata Deve Tata Guru Tasyaite Katita Hyarta Prakashante Mahatmanaha. I create this cosmos. Srajami tapasai vedam, grasami tapasa punaha, bibhrami tapasa vishwam, viryame dusharam tapaha. I create this cosmos by such penance. I maintain it by the same energy, and I withdraw it by all by the same energy. Therefore, the potential power is penance only. So we can see in this purport and this verse, Srila Prabhupada is speaking about how penance is required. Then there is no way out of this. That austerity is needed in order for a living entity to become a success, either materially or spiritually. We can see this, that so many people, when they in order for them to become very famous or prominent or something like that, they undergo so many austerities, they undergo so many penances, especially those who were not born into a rich family. Those who are born into a rich family, we can understand that they had performed austerities in their past lives, and now they're able to just enjoy the fruits of their activities. But you can even see those who become rich, who are not rich and they become rich, they have to undergo so many austerities, they have to undergo so many troubles and tribulations, and deal with so many things and do all that. Even to become a very famous rock star, one may have to one undergoes so many austerities, so many difficulties. You just come together, you have to have your band, you play together, and then like you play, and then you have to do one gig to another, you have to travel from one place to another, and when you travel, you may not get the best food. You have to move all your heavy equipment around, you have to do this, you have to do that, and then you have to be on your A game while doing the performance, and somehow or the other, if you have the karma, you get signed up by some record label and you become their slave for so long, and you do all these things, and finally, after all this, finally they make it, wow, this is amazing, they get their fame and they get their wealth, but all that also deteriorates away. Why? Because the fruits of their austerities go away. So in order for one to be a success in this material world also, they have to perform austerity. They have to undergo so many austerities. They want to become anything. If they want to become really rich, if they want to become really intelligent, if they want to become really beautiful. You can see so many of these actors and actresses and models and all these things. They have to work so hard to maintain their physique and maintain their appearance. They fast. They only eat a particular amount. They're very regulated because they're very conscious of how they look. Very conscious of how they look. They spend so much money. They spend so much money on their appearance. My Guru Maharaj was saying in a lecture that there was some soccer player who had his feet insured for like $5 million or something like that. Something insane, something crazy. Having your feet insured, Why they perform so many austerities, and they want to ensure their austerities. They want to do all this and do all that. But somehow or the other, if the karma is not there, then then we will have to wait. We have to wait. We have to perform austerities in order for us to get it. But ultimately, what's the use? A person can perform so many austerities and they can go to the heavenly planets. But what do they get? Traividya mam soma paputa papa yagya rishva sargatam pratayante te punyam asadya surendra lokam ashanti divyan divideva bhogan tetam bhuktva swarga lokam vishalam shine punye martya lokam vishanti evam traidharma manu prapanna gatagatam kama kama labhante. We may perform many austerities and we may go to the heavenly planets and we may try to enjoy with all the demigods up there. We may try to become the master of all demigods. We may try to become Indra himself. We may try to perform these activities to maybe even surpass Indra. We may try to perform austerities to enjoy this or that or this or that or this or that. But ultimately, what do we ultimately attain if it's not for the pleasure of Krishna? As we attain simply repeated birth and death. Why? Because no matter how many austerities we perform, as long as we do not perform the austerity of following the instructions of Krishna, we will suffer in this material world. We will suffer in this material world if we don't listen to the instructions of Krishna. Why? Because that is how Krishna designed it. That's how Krishna designed it. That if we do not follow his orders, if we do not follow his instructions, we will be stuck in this material world, and it may sometimes seem like, it's a so-called nice situation, or sometimes it may seem like it's a very bad situation, but ultimately it's all bad. It's all bad. It's completely bad. There's no middle ground in the sense of being happy. There's only two kinds of people, the Bhagavatam says, that can be happy. One is a completely elevated Paramahamsa, who's completely on the transcendental platform, who has transcended all the grips and all the modes of material nature, and is able to be completely absorbed in the three aspects of Krishna, Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan, with Bhagavan being the topmost level of realization. That person is very happy. And the other kind of person who's actually happy in this material world is some person who's completely like a pig, completely in the mode of ignorance, completely oblivious to what is going on in this material world, completely oblivious to so many things. Such kind of a person may also attain some kind of so-called happiness, but that happiness is despicable. We do not care for such happiness. Why? Because it's simply like living like that of a hog or a dog, or like a worm in stool. What happiness is there over there? It's horrible, it's miserable. There is nothing that we can actually achieve by performing all these austerities. But if we perform penance with the goal of going back home, back to Godhead, that is the most laudable. There is nothing more laudable than that. This is the highest penance that we can perform, is to somehow or the other listen to the orders of the spiritual master, and we must decide to undergo all type of tribulations for that end. We have to do this. We have to perform these austerities. We have to learn to control our mind, senses, and our false ego, and place it at the shelter of the lotus feet of the spiritual master. We have to perform these things, and we have to be willing to have the spiritual master chop down all our anarthas, all our difficulties. We may have so many misconceptions, and these misconceptions may actually be the cause of our suffering in this material world. We may have so many misconceptions. We may think that, oh, all this is there, but what I really want to do is I really want to just do this, and if I keep myself in this situation, then I will be able to perform devotional service way better. But no, the spiritual master and the spiritual master representatives are saying, without the association of devotees, you are doomed. There are so many people who think they can perform devotional service outside of the association of devotees. So many people, they think like that. And they go outside the association of devotees and they try to, have their cake and eat it too, where they have their material situation, and they also think they're going to practice devotional service. But what ends up happening is they don't do that. They don't end up practicing devotional service. And or their so-called devotional service is so puny, it's so tiny, and they're risking their life at such a great risk. That they're keeping their life at such a great risk, that risking their spiritual life at such a great risk. All for what? All so we can have some manasijja. Manasijja. This word is used in the Bhagavatam as thinking that some happiness which simply arises from the mind, from the platform of the mind. Some happiness which doesn't exist actually. If you actually go and see, does this happiness exist, you will realize that it doesn't. But it's simply some imagination, some hallucination in the mind that yes, if I'm in this situation, then I will definitely be very happy. Definitely I will become a pure devotee. Definitely this will happen. Definitely that will happen. And no matter how much logic and reason is presented to a person by the spiritual master or the representative of the spiritual master, if they are stubbornly going to hold on to the platform of their mind, then the mind is going to take us from one place to another, to another, to another. One of the main instructions, one of the main results of following the orders of the spiritual master is there's no room to be mental. There's no room to be mental. And one may ask, if going back home, back to Godhead is the highest thing, why do we have to perform austerities? Because Srila Prabhupada says here, the Lord is more clever than the living entity, and He wants to see how painstaking the living entity is in order to fulfill His orders. Krishna wants to see that. And we cannot have an easygoing life. An easygoing life and attainment of perfection stage of self-realization do not go well together. They do not go well together. Why? For this reason, that Krishna wants to see how badly do we really want Him. Like staying awake in Bhagavatam class. That is a great start. That's a great start, the great kind of austerity we can perform. We are devotees of Krishna, but when we come to hear about Krishna, we fall asleep. This is our most unfortunate situation. But, we should perform the austerity of doing what it takes to stay awake in Bhagavatam class. Whatever it means, if it means to go to bed early, we go to bed early. If it means to not gossip with our friends all day, all night long, that's a good idea also. But we perform this austerity in order to understand what is the topmost benefit for us. The Supreme Lord is stressing austerity so much. He's stressing this austerity so much. He's stressing renunciation so much. Why? For what reason? For this reason that austerity pleases Krishna. When we sacrifice everything for the pleasure of Krishna, Krishna is very satisfied. Krishna is very happy. Krishna is very happy when he sees that the devotee is giving everything he has for his pleasure. Idam Vishnave, idam namama. If the devotee thinks that my mind, my body, my words, my possessions, my wealth, my frame, my beauty, everything is for the sake of Lord Vishnu and this is not mine, then the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleased. Krishna is very pleased by such a sacrifice. Krishna is very pleased. Why? Because when you go and you sacrifice everything for the sake of Krishna, you win Krishna over. You win Krishna Himself. Krishna Himself wants to come and have the association of devotees who are sacrificing everything for themselves. Amongst all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, there's this verse, Vairagya Vidya, what was that? Mahaprabhu Bhaktargan, Vairagya Pradhan, Yaha Deki Priti Haya Gaura Bhagavan. That amongst all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, one quality is very prominent. And what is that quality? The quality of renunciation. That quality is very prominent amongst all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And looking at this quality of renunciation, and we can also understand that renunciation also means performing austerity, because you're renouncing things which may please your senses, but you give up sense pleasure for the sake of the satisfaction of the senses of Krishna. That is also renunciation. That is also austerity. So tapasa, tapasya, yaha deki priti haya gaura bhagavan. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Chaitanya, is very pleased by such activities. The Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Vairagya Vidya Anaja Bhakti Yoga, Shikshamrita Eka Purusha Purana, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Sharira Dhari, Kripambudharya Samaham Prapadya. That the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He is there, and the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, He comes into this material world to teach the living entities devotional service completely in line with renunciation and devotional service. Vairagya Vidya Anaja Bhakti Yoga. He comes to teach us these two things. Why? Because when we perform devotional service, according to the orders of the spiritual master, according to the orders of the authorities that the spiritual master has trusted us in, then at that point of time, naturally we will get renunciation and knowledge. We can see this. Vasudevi Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janatyadi Asha Vairagyam Jnanam Chayada Haitukam. That when we perform devotional service, the two byproducts are causeless knowledge and detachment. We are naturally going to become detached. But if the spiritual master is telling us one thing, but if we are doing something else, and if everything is laid out on a plate, everything is laid out on a silver platter, but we just want to somehow imagine some happiness which is floating away somewhere else, where everything practical is right here in front of us, but the happiness is somewhere in the mind, it's somewhere there, it's somewhere here, and it doesn't exist. But if we are eager to chase after that, then we will suffer on the mental platform. The greatest misery that a living entity can face in this material world is a living entity who's chasing after illicit sex. And then the misery, there's another misery which the living entity faces, which actually is also very painful, and it's the misery of being indecisive. The misery of being indecisive is so horrible, actually. Always, just like constantly on the mental platform. That indecisiveness is also a great enemy of the living entity. That is why surrender is required. And Shastra tells us so many things which we may not like to hear. For example, Shastra tells us, why does Shastra tell us so many things? Why does Krishna give us so many hard instructions to follow? Why? Why? Because of this reason. Because of this simple reason that, we want what is not good for us. If we simply understand the simple point that the mind is by nature a non-devotee. The mind that we have, the mind that we're living with, is by nature a non-devotee. Whatever you do, the mind will always tell you to do non-devotional activities. Therefore, a person must constantly adhere to the principles of the spiritual master and learn to curb the mind by following it. Otherwise, the mind will take us here and take us there. And it'll almost always take us to naturally non-devotional activities. We must not be so confident of ourselves. Because, we were talking about this in the Bhakta class recently, and I was contemplating this point even more, that the spirit soul is there. And right now, the spirit soul, where is the spirit soul right now? As a conditioned soul, where are we? We're in this material world, right? And more specifically, where is the spirit soul? It's inside the body, right? The spirit soul is inside the body, right? This body is made of matter. Your subtle body is made of matter. Your mind is made of matter. Your intelligence is made of matter. And most of all, your false ego is made of matter. You're so closely connected to everything material. Everything that you see around you is matter. Your body is matter. Your mind is matter. Your false ego is matter. All the things around you are made of matter. Your TV is matter. Your parents are also influenced by conceptions which make them get further entangled in matter. Everything you're looking around you is meant to make you get entangled in matter. Therefore, the spiritual master and the Shastra and Krishna give you instructions which make you disentangle yourself from matter and also spiritualize your existence. That's why the Bhagavad Gita says, Mamchayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. That when a person performs devotional service to Krishna, and they perform it in avyabhicharani bhakti, in this, when they perform this avyabhicharani bhakti, then when they perform devotional service, which is very chaste to Krishna, then a person naturally transcends the three modes of material nature. For example, it may be hard for people to hear that, hey, it is not good to be a dancing dog in the hands of a woman. It's actually something which every responsible grihastha must hear. It is not good for you to be a dancing dog in the hands of a woman. Why? Because if you do so, you will keep yourself in very embarrassing situations. You'll keep yourself in very embarrassing situations. Why? Because by nature, a man is supposed to be thoughtful, at least independently thoughtful of the wife, and must learn to somehow or the other guide the wife back to Godhead. But if the husband becomes a pure devotee of the wife, that is not desired. But if we see in Shastra that the husband must be a pure devotee of Krishna and the wife must be a pure devotee of the husband. Why? Because a husband is considered to be the spiritual master. But if this whole dynamic changes, then the husband makes a big fool out of himself. Makes a big fool out of anyone who is actually coming anywhere even near them can actually realize that the husband is making a big fool of his life. Therefore, Shastra recommends that after a certain point of time, the husband must take to the process of renunciation, either vanaprastha or sannyas. That must happen. Or at least if vanaprastha is going on, he must not be a complete slave of the wife. And it is going to be hard. It is going to be hard. Grihasthas get very upset if we speak about renouncing, about being detached from household life. Brahmacharis get very upset if we speak to them about surrendering to the authority of the spiritual master. Brahmacharis should not get upset if that's spoken, but if they do get upset, that means there is a lack of surrender. Grihasthas don't like to hear this, that, and the other thing. Why? Because there's a lack of surrender. Because we somehow or the other like to create a situation which we're always very comfortable. We always think, oh, this is so nice, this is so nice. Oh, I'm in such a comfortable situation. And brahmacharis also may think in a particular way, oh, I'm in a nice, comfortable situation. I don't want to go out on books. I'd rather do this, I'd rather do that. I don't want to stay in the association of devotees. I'd rather go home and I'd rather do some kind of nonsense and I'll also perform devotional service. It's all bogus. It's Maya actually. It's big time Maya. It's simply Maya. Why? Because we've said it again. We've said it before and we'll say it again and again and again that this real spiritual life starts right outside the comfort zone of ourselves. Whatever comfort zone we're in, we should push ourselves outside that comfort zone. When we push ourselves outside that comfort zone, then we will actually be able to perform this great austerity of devotional service which is pleasing to Krishna. We should learn to do this. We can see Srila Prabhupada, he was saying that, my spiritual master, he's calling me. He's calling me. He wants me to take sannyas. But I was thinking, oh, how can I take sannyas? How can I leave? Prabhupada is performing this austerity, this pastime of thinking, oh, how can I leave? How can I leave? But my spiritual master practically forced me through my god brother. He forced me through my god brother to take sannyas. My god brother told me, Abhay Prabhu, if you don't take sannyas, how will you become the topmost preacher? You have to take sannyas. Then Prabhupada is performing the pastime of being the age of 69 years old. And at the age of 69, he's on the ship, he's on the Jaladuta ship. He suffers 2 heart attacks. Srila Prabhupada suffers 2 heart attacks on that ship. And he's still writing, he's still contemplating, he's still meditating upon the order of the spiritual master, that he should come and preach the message of the Bhagavatam in the English language. Prabhupada is constantly meditating upon this. He's constantly meditating. He's performing this austerity. The austerity of such a person, the austerity of great souls like Srila Prabhupada is actually what brings up the spiritual life of all the living entities in this world. Is the austerity of Srila Prabhupada. See how austere Srila Prabhupada is. See how many austerities he performed. What need was there for him to come to the West? Even when he came to New York, when initially, things were not going so well, Prabhupada thought, okay, I came to America, I tried, now I can go back to India. I can go back to, no one will criticize me for doing this. Who will criticize Prabhupada? Okay, you went, you tried, it didn't work out. You said you chanted Vrindavan, you go back to Godhead. Who will criticize Prabhupada? No one. No one would have criticized him. But Prabhupada knew the weight of the order of the spiritual master is on his head. That is the weight. You know why? Because that is the order that the spiritual master has received from his spiritual master. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur had received the same order. Could you please get a Bhakti Siddhanta Vaibhava, Prabhu? It's in the back. Volume 1 of the Bhakti Siddhanta Vaibhava. We can see that the order that even Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur received a very, very hard to perform, execute order from his own spiritual master. For him to go and perform all these austerities, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur decided that he is going to do a Shatakoti Nama Yagya. He's going to chant 1 billion names of Lord Vishnu. He's going to chant 1 billion rounds of the 1 billion times. He's going to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. 1 billion times. 1 billion times. That if you do 192 rounds a day, maybe then you'll finish that vow in a few years. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was doing that. He was living in Mayapur. Now Mayapur, you're going to go and all these facilities are there, and we're like, wow, it's amazing. And it's like, you can have Radha's Pizza, and you can have, so many things. You can have so many things to eat, and you can enjoy, and you can do all these things. But when Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was there, it was a deep and dense forest. He built a thatched hut himself, and he would sit and he would chant. And every day, the only thing he would eat is he would just boil some rice and he would eat it. And if he was feeling nauseous, he would just take some pepper and some salt and he would eat that. And he simply sat there and started to perform the Shatakoti Nama Yagya. And then when it would rain, there was rain and there was a hole in his thatched roof. Water would be falling into his hut. And he would simply hold an umbrella and chant underneath that umbrella. And he did this for so many years. Why? For our sake. For you to eat the plate of prasadam that you're going to eat, you do not understand how many austerities our acharyas have undergone in order for that to happen. Everything which happens, everything which comes out of the platform of austerity, tapasya. How much austerity did Srila Prabhupada perform in order to produce these books? He was managing a worldwide movement. He had so many thousands of disciples. He was constantly traveling. Prabhupada performed the pastimes of having so many so-called health problems. But still, Srila Prabhupada, no matter what, translated and wrote his books. He made sure he had his books produced. And because he was performing so many austerities, he was pushing his disciples also to continue performing these austerities. He was pushing them to do so. Why? For what reason? For the reason that it is austerity only from which everything desirable comes about. Everything desirable comes from austerity. Nothing else. I'm looking for this particular excerpt in my favorite book, the Bhakti Siddhanta Vaibhava. And some may criticize us for having this as a favorite book, but we don't care. So I'm looking for, while I'm looking for it, I'll go on making a few more points. So we can see this that, wait, I found it. Okay. Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Glory to the congregational chanting of Krishna's names is the Gaudiya Math's sole object of worship. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati was deeply attached to the holy names of Krishna. Whenever devotees inquired how to improve their bhakti and how to overcome anarthas, he usually stressed the need to chant faithfully and offenselessly. Quoting Lord Chaitanya's statement, Iha haite sarva siddhi hai be sabar. That is a solution to all our problems. You see, if you're being mental in our spiritual life, if you're being mental, the only reason we're being mental is because we are not chanting our rounds properly. Because when you chant your rounds properly with great attention, then naturally unlimited inspiration is there. Can you give me my beats, Prabhu, please? Unlimited inspiration is there while we chant the holy name of Krishna. We get unlimited amount of realization and understanding as to how to perform devotional service. These beads that we are chanting on, our spiritual master has infused each bead with unlimited potency to tap in to the great ocean of inspiration, which is devotion to Krishna. Every bead is infused with unlimited potency. And the more you chant on it attentively, the more it is revealed to you. Once a devotee asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, what is the secret behind all your success? You're able to do all these things. Prabhupada said the secret is in the bead bag. The secret is in the bead bag. When we chant these holy names of fantasy, that's why spiritual master, you have to chant these rounds attentively. Krishna wants to see how painstaking we are in chanting all of our 16 rounds. Even if we, for some reason, have to stay up really, really late to chant our 16 rounds, it is worth it. It is worth it. Why? Because it is the order of the spiritual master to do so. To chant 16 rounds and follow the 4 regulative principles is the order of the spiritual master that must be followed at all costs. Unless, of course, you will die if you stay up late and have to drive like for a long distance the next morning. But that an exception should remain an exception and should not become a rule. We can see the amount of trauma that the living entity, that the Krishna consciousness movement has undergone because of leaders not following their vows, because of disciples not following their vows. Because of not doing so, the entire Krishna consciousness movement literally took a nosedive. It was completely gone. It was completely gone. And what did it take? It took one extremely sincere follower of Srila Prabhupada to preach the same thing which Srila Prabhupada preached, to undergo all these austerities, and to perform all this tapasya, to revive the preaching of pure Shuddha Bhakti in Krishna consciousness. Took the austerity of one pure disciple of Srila Prabhupada, performing all these austerities for the propagation of the pure message of Krishna consciousness. Yet again, finally, so many Prabhupada disciples, they come and they see Krishna life and they are shocked. This is just like the old days. I've never seen anything like this in the whole of North America. I travel everywhere. This is amazing. What you're doing is amazing. Just don't stop. Some Prabhupada disciples said, it's just like how it used to be and it's actually better. Why? It's because of the fruits of the austerities of a great pure devotee of Srila Prabhupada. Performing this tapasya. This great pure devotee of Srila Prabhupada just speaks. And from his speaking, so many things come about. From the when I'm sitting in this temple room, I'm thinking, oh my God, just from my spiritual master's words, this whole temple just came about. Just from my spiritual master's words, all these books are just being distributed. And how many austerities did he have to perform to have that potency of just speaking and that thing coming to life? This is Vakshuddhi. This is Vachovegam. Even if the whole movement is going towards, at one point of time, there was this extremely big bogus Sahajya, Maha bogus Sahajya, whose influence is unfortunately still destroying the International Society of Krishna Consciousness. It's still destroying the influence of this person. It's still destroying the Krishna Conscious Society. This person, when Srila Prabhupada disappeared, he was basically posing to be like the big next Acharya, the next big guy, the next Acharya. And so many Prabhupada's disciples were actually trying to put him in that position of being like the great Acharya of the next great thing. But my Guru Maharaj was constantly saying, no, this is wrong. This person is not that pure devotee. He is not on the level of Prabhupada. He is misguiding us. He is not teaching us what's in Prabhupada says. And all the leaders in our movement, headed by the most hardcore leader of the movement, were completely chastising my spiritual master, but he still stood his ground to the degree that a few years later they came and they apologized to him. Performing this austerity, even though the movement is going all the way against, going towards this stupid, idiotic feminism, still sticking the ground, still holding the ground, not giving way to all this nonsense, feministic, new age ideas. Because of his austerity, just by speaking, all this came about. See the power of austerity. See the power of strictly following the orders of the spiritual master. If we strictly follow the spiritual master, we will have the same nature as that of the spiritual master. We will see. You can actually experience that. You can experience the power of austerity. Simply by speaking. Thousands of books are distributed by one or two people very regularly. They're being distributed. Just by speaking, so many Bhagavatam sets are actually being distributed. How is this possible? But for the power of austerity. What else is there? There is nothing else. This is the topmost thing. By this alone, sarva iha haite sarva siddhi hai be saban. By this alone, all perfection will come. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur advised, chant the Maha Mantra loudly with attachment. This will drive away inertia, worldly ills, and disturbance. What does inertia mean? Huh? Mental platform. If you're on the mental platform, you're lazy. Like sometimes, we're lying down. In myself, I'm lying down. I'm thinking, maybe I have to pass water. No, you know what? I'll just lie down. Or maybe not. But then, like in the middle of my rest, I have to wake up to pass water. I was thinking, if I had just passed water, I would have gotten better rest to serve my spiritual master better. But, it's laziness. It's like, something needs to be done, do it. That's it. Do it. Don't procrastinate. Do it. And if you chant properly, then all this goes away. Inertia goes away. Worldly ills, if we chant properly, then our sinful propensities, all these desires, they go away. Why? Because this is the order. This is the order of the spiritual master, the order coming from Lord Chaitanya. Krishna wants to see how painstaking we are in chanting our 16 rounds attentively. Krishna wants to see that. Krishna wants to see how determined we are in order to perform our devotional service. Krishna wants to see that. And when he sees that, then Krishna becomes very pleased. How eager are we to push on Srila Prabhupada's book distribution? Therefore, we should always challenge ourselves. Give yourself an impossible challenge and do your level best to maintain it. Chase the rhino for Srila Prabhupada. Chase the rhino. This is the biggest austerity that a devotee can perform. In this sampradaya, the greatest austerity a devotee can perform is to chase the rhino for Srila Prabhupada's pleasure. If you chase the rhino and if you don't catch the rhino, no one is going to criticize you. But if you caught a rhino, people are going to say, wow, amazing. This person caught a rhino. So, we should chase the rhino for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada. We should go and we should do everything in our power to undertake all the orders that Srila Prabhupada has given us. We should do it. Prabhupada wanted every respectable gentleman and lady in America to have a full set of Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. We may feel very proud, wow, we are so great. We distributed 2,000 sets of Bhagavatam this year. Okay, amazing. But how many houses are there in North America? Can we even, how many are there? Like, someone pull it up on Google or whatever? How many houses are there in North America? How many, can we even figure out? Do all these houses have a full set of Srila Prabhupada's books? Then our job is not done. Our job is not done. So we should understand this is the goal. This is the order of the spiritual master. This is the order of the spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada writes in this Krishna Tava Punna Habe Bai Se Mohanta Guru Jagatera Madhyayuru Krishna Bhakti De Tai Tai. That Tara Icha Bhalavan Pacha Deshe Tan Tan Hoy Jate Gorangera Nam. That the order of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, he is very, very powerful devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And by his order, the holy names of Lord Chaitanya will spread all over the Western world. We haven't even delivered our entire block. We haven't even done that. What a shame. What a shame. Just see how we are not tapped into Krishna's potency. If you are fully tapped into Krishna's potency, if you are chanting the holy name offenselessly, then we can do it. It's easily we can do it. Our own spiritual master, what does he need all these disciples? And he can do it on his own. But it's his cause, his mercy upon us that he's giving us some service to do. We should understand this. He can do everything on his own. What's the big deal for him? So many qualified people are there to serve him, but why is he putting unqualified people to make them qualified? And if we follow the orders of the spiritual master properly, then that empowerment will come. He maintained that chanting the Lord's names is tantamount to directly seeing the Lord, to seeing Him. The Lord and His name are one and the same. Chanting the holy name is equivalent to directly experiencing Him. You see, by chanting Krishna's names, we can experience Krishna. We can experience Him. We can experience Krishna Himself. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur always emphasized Harinam as the topmost sadhana. Understand this. The austerity the topmost austerity we need to perform is the austerity of Harinam. We need to chant our rounds very, very seriously. We need to chant and dance with devotees very seriously. This is a very serious thing. It's a very amazing thing. He writes, to make us wholly devoted to Krishna's name, Sri Gaurangadev, the combined form of Sri Radha Govinda, came to this world. I can actually put this up. It's very inspiring. Okay, can you all see this? Okay. But if we disregard his teachings and show no interest in Sri Nam Seva, we will never attain auspiciousness. Sri Nam Sankirtan is the best sadhana. If other sadhus help us in Krishna Sankirtan, then they deserve to be called, If other sadhanas, if other sadhanas help us in Krishna Sankirtan, then they deserve to be called sadhana. Otherwise, they're simply impediments to sadhana. Sri Krishna Nam Sankirtan is the emperor of sadhanas. It is the infallible sadhana capable of bringing us to Siddhi. Sriman Mahaprabhu did not speak of teaching Archana, but in Shikshashtaka he taught Nam Bhajan. Although in Kali Yuga other limbs of bhakti should be performed, they should be accompanied by bhakti denoted by Kirtan. Krishna and Krishna Nam are not two entities. Krishna is his holy name, and the holy name is Krishna. Krishna Nam is the son of Nanda, Shyama Sundar. Our devotional service and duty is Sri Nam Sankirtan. This understanding is auspicious. So understand this, that if you are performing any service, and the service is coming in the way of us performing Sankirtan and doing proper Nam Bhajan, this is simply an anartha that needs to be given up. We may think, we're doing such important service, and we're like doing all this and doing all that, and we're like, anyway, I'm trying to think of the most bogus latest fad which is going on. But we are doing big kirtan melas, and we are completely attached to the holy name of Krishna. How attached you are chanting 16 rounds? It is a known fact that many of these famous kirtaniyas are not following the 4 regulative principles. They're eating onion and garlic. They're smoking marijuana. They're having illicit sex. So, hearing from such people, is that going to help us? Hearing from such people, is that going to help us become more attached to Sri Krishna Sankirtan? No. We will listen to their kirtan and our material desires will increase. Our material desires will increase. And you can go and see there is such a stark difference between those people who are associating with such kirtan and such so-called mundane kirtaniyas. There's a stark difference between them and stark difference between those who are following the principles of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu seriously. There is a stark difference. It's such a difference. We cannot even understand how much difference. But the minute we go, we can see, oh my God, this person. That's, the entire way, the entire approach of Krishna consciousness is so completely different. Why? Because when we perform Sri Krishna Nama Sankirtan and we're following the bona fide sadhu, the sadhu will make sure that this conception that we are not the enjoyer but the enjoyed, we are not the seer but the seen, be completely drilled into our head. If you want to do proper Nam Sankirtan, if you want to have Nama Ruchi, if you want to experience Harinama Rasa, if you want to experience the taste of chanting the holy name of Krishna, then become a Nama Sevi. Don't become a Nama Bhogi. If you want to really experience proper taste and proper chanting and the proper results of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, perform the austerity of becoming a Nama Sevi, a servant of the holy name of Krishna. Perform that austerity. And if you want to, but if you become a Nama Bhogi, the enjoyer of the holy name of Krishna, like goes on in these so-called melas and all these things, then we will simply be stuck in this material world. We'll simply be stuck in this material world. If we do not perform the austerities of only eating Krishna Prasadam, the whole movement will be destroyed. Just see the result of eating foodstuffs cooked by non-devotees. Just see the pulse of the spiritual potency of the Krishna consciousness movement in North America, and one will understand. And one will understand. You see, now, Prabhupada, how many years has it been since Srila Prabhupada left? Prabhupada left in 1977. And now we're in 2023. Huh? Oh, yeah, right. We're in 2024. So how many years is that? How many years is that? It's almost coming to 50 or it's more? It's almost coming to 50, right? It's like 57 years. 47 years. The Srila Prabhupada left. And in 47 years already, so many devotees are eating karmic grains, foodstuffs cooked by non-devotees. And my fear is if some tremendous change and some tremendous push to reform the devotees does not take place, then very soon onion and garlic will also enter the diet. Very soon. Very, very soon. We can see, so many devotees, we have direct experience of this, who are not following the four regs and not chanting 16 rounds are getting initiated. And they take vows that I'll chant 16 rounds and I'll follow the four regs. But they probably do that for a day or two and they just chant whenever they feel like, and maybe they follow 2, 3, 4 of the four regulative principles. So when there is why? Because everyone wants bhakti. Bhakti fest and, get inspired with bhakti, and feel the bhakti, but they do not want to perform the austerity of performing devotional service. There is no bhakti without siddhanta. There is no bhakti without siddhanta. Siddhanta, balya chitte, nakaro alas, hiha haite Krishna lagi sudhrida manash. That if we are lazy in understanding the siddhanta, which is also an austerity, is to properly understand what is the proper conclusion of Srila Prabhupada's works, which is a big austerity. Siddhanta bolya chitta. If we are lazy to understand Siddhanta, then what will happen is our attachment to Krishna will not develop. We will want to enjoy Krishna. We will want to become a Namabhogi. And when we want to become a Namabhogi, then all these things come up. Oh, we can do this, we can do that. Oh, anyway, he slept with my wife, I slept with his wife. What's the big deal? Men and women can all mix up together because we're already transcendental. We're transcendental to all this. Dharma, who cares about Dharma? We are devotees of Krishna, We transcend Dharma. Really? Amazing. That's so amazing. We transcend Dharma to the degree that we are slave to our belly and our genitals. That's how much we transcend Dharma. I'll read another small section from this. This is a very amazing quote here. Chandan, what's going on? I'm so bad with this stuff, man. Look. But it'll turn. Okay. A pandit. See, I told you, man. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm so bad with this stuff. Oh, it's good up there? Okay, fine. Then I'll just read from here then. I'll just read. Okay. Anyway. Okay. A pandit who apparently considered chanting Harinam an elementary practice for neophyte spiritualists asked, oh my God. Yeah, why don't you just do it? I'm suffering with this technology, man. There's an austerity to perform in Kali Yuga to deal with technology. A pandit who apparently considered chanting Harinam an elementary practice for neophyte spiritualists asked, why are you chanting Harinam so much? Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati replied with exemplum. Does that mean with an example? Are you good? Is it stuck? What? Okay. He replied with an example that a young child first learns to write ABC. If an older he is writing ABC in algebra equation, His grandmother may ask why he is still studying at the same level as when he was 5 years old. She does not see that what appears to be the same exercise actually only is actually on a significantly higher platform. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati explained, chanting Hare Krishna is a postgraduate dharma. Just as you never weary of calling your children's names every day, when we chant the names of Krishna with love, we don't become jaded. Jaded means like fading away, bored. Right? Nama Gane Sadaruchi. Devotees are characterized by unceasing taste for reciting the holy names. We want to chant more and more. And one more big austerity that we have to perform, again, talking about dealing with technology and all this stuff. One more big austerity that we have to perform is we have to, somehow or the other, we must, even if you're using technology, I'll tell you this, I know many devotees struggle with this, that they go to YouTube to listen to the spiritual masters' lectures, but so many recommendations come up. Listen to this, listen to this, listen to this, listen to that. There's no need to scroll. If we don't have a service, there's no need to have social media. What are we going to do? If it has nothing to do with our service, why have it? I especially took a vow during the marathon that I will not listen to any mundane sound vibration. I'm just going to listen to only Krishna Katha. I don't remember in whose lecture I heard it. Either it was Prahlada Nanda Maharaj or Mukundatta Prabhu or Vaisheshika Prabhu when I met him. But one of them was saying that it is below the dignity of the spirit soul to listen to anything other than Krishna Katha. I sound familiar with it? They're all bona fide speakers of the Bhagavatam, so it doesn't matter. But, it is below the dignity of the spirit soul to listen to anything other than Krishna Katha. Anything other than that. It's below, it's completely contaminating. We have nothing to do with this, actually. We have nothing to do with this. What's the use? Some mundane thing. And we may be attracted, wow, look at that thing made of matter. But wait a minute, what the heck? I'm not this body. I have nothing to do with matter. Let me just focus on chanting Hare Krishna. Let me just focus on listening to lectures about Krishna. Let me just be focused on Krishna and Krishna alone. And when we do this, when we perform such an activity, then, naturally, we become we can see our material desires going away. We can see our spiritual desires increasing. What is the symptom of your spiritual desires increasing? Is that you have Nava Rasa, you have ever-increasing inspiration. Krishna is giving you more and more inspiration as to how to serve Him. That is a very nice litmus test that we can see. Krishna is giving you newer and newer and newer inspiration as to how to serve Him. For example, I know I grew up in Radha Govinda Mandir in New York. I grew up there. And, and my mother was, of course, Mother Satya. And I would go and take darshan of Radha Govinda almost every day. And every day, Mother Satya would have a brand new idea as to how to make Radha Govinda look more beautiful. Every day she would dress them. Every day. And every day she would have this idea which completely blows my mind. I would think she's definitely not going to top this. And the next day she would top it, and she would top it again, and she would top it again. And what to speak of on festivals? She would really go all out, in the way, Kalki, do you remember the way she would dress Radha Govinda in Janmashtami? How exquisitely beautiful Radha Govinda would be. And I was saying, this is so amazing. She's getting more and more inspiration as to how to decorate Radha Govinda nicely. How to decorate. I used to see her used to see her chant her rounds. Everything on point. Just doing that completely. She was a pativrata, completely dedicated to serving her husband. And where there's fire, there's smoke, of course. But still, I was seeing how much inspiration that she would receive to dress. And I was even thinking of my spiritual master. He told me, even if I had a whole day of Lord Brahma, that would not be enough for me to write all the books that I want to write. How inspired are you that you can say that? And how inspired should you be? And he's thinking, yeah, I have so many ideas to write down. I want to do this. I haven't even started writing the books that I really want to write. I'm thinking, what are you talking about? I can't imagine. How do you get these brand new realizations and brand new ideas? How is that possible? Once, Prabhupada is sitting, and, he was looking at the Bhagavad Gita, and, he just had his Bhagavad Gita, and he sat down there, and he told his disciple, yeah, I want to write Bhagavad Gita. But Prabhupada said, Prabhupada, you just wrote a Bhagavad Gita. But yeah, he said, but I want to write Bhagavad Gita, from the perspective of the commentary of Ramanujacharya, and I want to write Bhagavad Gita from the perspective of the commentary of this different Acharya and that different Acharya. And, the devotee was shocked, Prabhupada said, yes, we can write so much, And it's amazing. It's true, actually. It's really true. Prabhupada is so inspired to serve Krishna. Unlimited inspiration comes out of the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. How is this possible? And anyone who's plugged into it, you'll go crazy. You'll go, oh my God, there's so much service. It's amazing, and we're fired up to do it. And it all comes from this instruction, from the austerity of following Krishna's orders. When you follow Krishna's orders, it's so amazing, actually. Okay, and I'll just read two more things. Okay? I'll just read two more things from here. Okay, I think I can do this time. I think my phone has Comic-Con Bhav. It doesn't. Okay. So we can see this here. That Prabhu, you can move these things around. While I'm reading, you can zoom in and you can do that whole thing. I want to read from the book. In the early days of the mission, Srila Saraswati Thakur occasionally led kirtan. However, not being very musically adept, later on, he did not lead kirtan or play instruments, but simply joined in singing with others. He would say, if you do not know how to sing, open your lips and recite the holy name. If you don't sing expertly, chanting the name is kirtan. He spelled out the necessity and method of performing Hari Kirtan. Hari Kirtan is a perpetual and natural function of all the faculties of the jiva, and in the state of freedom from all affinities to this changeable world, because the absolute truth is identical with Hari. Isn't that amazing? That this Hari Kirtan is a perpetual natural function of all the faculties of the living entity. That is amazing. Hari has to be served exclusively, constantly, and by all the faculties of the soul. Every line, every word we can speak so much about that. Krishna has to be served exclusively, constantly, and by all faculties of the soul. All your senses must be engaged in the service of Krishna constantly and exclusively. This is a big thing, actually. That is a big austerity. Can you imagine? It's such a big austerity that all our senses, all our faculties, should be engaged in serving Krishna exclusively and constantly. That's far out, actually. That's really amazing. And if we just perform this austerity, we're good. Why? Because can anyone think of a verse in the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna uses the word exclusively? I mean, Prabhupada, okay, Krishna doesn't say exclusively in English, but he says it in Sanskrit. Huh? Does Prabhupada use the word exclusively in translation to that? That's right, Avadut. 9:22. Ananya chintayanto mam yajana for you pachate tesham nityabhayuktanam yoga kshemam vahamyaham. This is my favorite verse. I aspire to live my life by this verse. That to those who are constantly meditating upon my transcendental form and serving me exclusively, I preserve what they have and I carry what they lack. Very important, very amazing verse. But see, that's what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is saying here. He says, the only function of the wise is to chant Hari Kirtan, which is non-different and inseparable from simultaneous service to Hari by all other senses. One who does not employ his voice incessantly and exclusively in chanting Hari Kirtan has no access to Hari Seva by any other means. Hey, is that right? Yeah, okay. By any other means. You see? That's what I was saying, just now, about like this whole YouTube thing and like being below the dignity of the conditioned soul and all that. Prabhu, it's the previous page. Yeah, that one. Yeah, right there. Yeah. So exclusively we should speak about Krishna, exclusively do. And how do we do this? How do we do Gaura Vihita Kirtan? By doing Gaura Vihita Shravan. By hearing exclusively about Krishna only. Just try it out. If we are having to deal with mundane sound vibration, just try out where you only deal with transcendental sound vibration all day, all night. Just try it out for one day, and you'll see how much of a difference it makes. If you have an Instagram account, delete it. There's no need for you to have an Instagram account. Are you doing some major preaching work? Are thousands of people falling at your lotus feet and worshipping you? No, delete it. What's the use? We have devotees whose service is to deal with that stuff. Let them deal with it. We are simply going to our room, locking ourselves and scrolling Instagram non-stop. What kind of tamaguni fools are we? Let's stop this nonsense and let's stay to Krishna consciousness seriously. At least now, it's not too late. Do it now. Do it now. It's so rarely obtained. At least we can do it now. Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Now is the time to take the Krishna consciousness seriously. Therefore, Hari Kirtan must be chanted while being humbler than a blade of grass. And how will we become humbler than a blade of grass? My dear sir, you're such a great soul. Please buy this book of Srila Prabhupada. That's the best way to become humbler than a blade of grass. There can be no streak of worldly vanity or seeking after any worldly advantage. The only object should be to please Hari. He insisted that Kirtan should not denigrate into an artistic show for sense gratification. Kirtan performed for sensual satisfaction is not Hari Kirtan. Yeah, I didn't read that properly. I'm going to read that again. Kirtan performed for sensual satisfaction is not Hari Kirtan. Kirtan performed for sensual satisfaction is not Hari Kirtan. Kirtan is not performed only through melodious musical tunes, chimes, and the like. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has not asked us to be proficient in high-class music and well-practiced in the airs of accomplished musicians. He asks us to always perform Hari Kirtan, that which is meant for gratifying the mundane senses is not for Hari Kirtan. That by which Krishna's senses are satisfied is Hari Kirtan. So we understand this. That another place, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, Kirtan means a recitation that bestows eligibility to hear about spiritual subject matters. That is what Kirtan means. It's not on there. But at present, we are averse to service to Bhagavan, that we are so averse to service to Bhagavan that we are not prepared to hear Kirtan, unless it pleases our senses. That is why an arrangement to glorify Hari by melodious songs. For those who have no interest in hearing about Hari except in the form of songs, we sing the glories of Hari so that they can receive the message just as a better pill is coated with sugar. So we should understand these points very seriously and sincerely. Today is the disappearance day of two great devotees of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. One of them being Udharan Das Thakur. Prabhupada visited this temple, along with all his disciples, Udharan Das Thakur. He's a great associate of Lord Nityananda, a cowherd boy in Vrindavan. And he was actually coming from a very rich family, but he renounced everything, performed the austerity of renouncing everything, and exclusively dedicated himself in the service of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Exclusively. He did so. And when he did so, he got so much mercy of Lord Nityananda that he is considered to be even more merciful than Nityananda Prabhu himself. I remember in New York, for the first time when I found out that this was the disappearance of Udharan Das Thakur, and I found out who he was, I thought, okay, today is the day for me to cash in on his mercy. And I remember distributing books in Times Square subway that day. It was such a blissful day on books for me. It was so amazing. I was thinking, wow, this Acharya is pleased by this activity. I'm performing this penance for his pleasure. I'm pleasing this Acharya. And I was distributing books. And it was so cold. And I think it was like my first winter in New York as a book distributor, and it's like, it was really austere actually. But, I was thinking, oh, this Acharya is going to be pleased. And, I was really trying, and I distributed maybe like 50 Bhagavad Gitas, which is big back in the day for me. In New York City, like one book at a time, and no matter how much they give you, even if they give you $100, all they get is one Bhagavad Gita. You can't load them up with a whole lot of books. $100, and you can't use it as mercy either. No mercy. $100 for that book. Next guy has to pay full price for the next book. And 50 people giving, Bhagavad Gita. Wow, that's amazing. It was so amazing, actually, these acharyas are there, their mercy is there, their mercy is there, and Satyam, you see, that's the truth. Sri Mahesh Pandit, he's the seventh of the 12 Gopals, tasting Krishna Prema, used to dance like a madman to the sound of a huge kettle drum, especially dear to Nityananda Prabhu. He traveled and preached with the Lord. He established deity of Nitai Gauranga, Radha Madan Mohan, and Radha Govinda and Gopinath. In Rajalila, he serves Krishna Balaram as a cowherd boy Mahabahu. His samadhi is in 64 samadhi areas. And in the Chaitanya Chaitamrita, Prabhupada writes, he who was previously a very munificent cowherd boy has now appeared as Mahesh Pandit. Sorry, I guess you can't read that. Sorry about that. What happened? Okay. Is that legible? Okay, let me try. How do we increase the font? Anyone knows?
So the bottom, the two A's.
Oh, okay, thank you. Wow, I learned something in Bhagavatam class today. So, where is it? Yeah, he was, okay, I'll do it like this now. He who was previously a very munificent cowherd boy has now appeared as Mahesh Pandit. In ecstatic love, he dances like a madman as though intoxicated to the beat of a kettle drum. We read this. This is a very important thing for us. According to Gaura Ganodesh Deepika, Mahesh Pandit was formerly Mahotsaha in Krishna Leela. He was a companion of Nityananda Prabhu and he was present at the Danda Mahotsaha held at Panihati. You see, that's where we are. That's where we're from. A devotee, that's where you're from. We're from New Panihati. This is Lord Nityananda's place. So Mahesh Pandit is from New Panihati. So it's like he's like representing us. We're representing him. You're like, okay, this is amazing. Let's see. Yeah, this is amazing. Vrindavan Das Thakur has described him as a Param Mahanta due to the fact that he was very dear to Nityananda Prabhu. And his disappearance, today is his disappearance. And that's it with Mahesh Pandit. I wanted to read a small section about Sri Udaran Datta Thakur. We can see this. There's a verse glorifying him, and he's called Maha Patita Pavana Bhagavata or something. I'm looking for this. Yeah. Udaran Das Thakur, and it says in the Chaitanya Chaitamrita, Udaran Das Thakur was the best of the Bhagavats who served Nityananda's lotus feet in every way possible. That he was the best of the Bhagavats means what? He's the best of the devotees, and he's a great devotee of Lord Nityananda. So if one is the best of the Bhagavatas, and they're a devotee of Lord Nityananda, then naturally they're distributing Bhagavatams to everyone. So they distribute Bhagavatams by speaking about them, and we have to distribute Bhagavatams by distributing them. You see, this is our line, this is our austerity. We have to perform this. And by doing so, we will please the previous acharyas. Take it for sure, take it as a guarantee that if we simply engage in the austerity of pleasing the previous acharyas, then naturally we will get their mercy. Naturally. This will be the fruit of our austerity. Srila Prabhupada, even in his so-called what appears as his old age, he is still serving his spiritual master by distributing and producing books. When devotees looked at him, they looked at him as the ripened fruit of tapasya. So Srila Prabhupada was doing like this in order to benefit the conditioned souls. So we should also perform the austerity and benefit the conditioned souls. So I'll end the class over here. If there's any questions or comments or corrections, we can take them now. Yes, Kalki Prabhu. Kalki Prabhu performs the austerity of dealing with me. He's been performing the austerity for a long time now. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Anyway, while you're fixing that, I can read something. Kirtan is meant for attracting the audience towards hearing. Some may say that Krishna is a model or just another historical personality. So, what is the use of hearing about him? We prefer to hear about the heroic activities of Napoleon. To relieve people from such a mentality, Krishna Kirtan is necessary. As a deer and snakes is charmed by music and songs, if Hari Kirtan is presented in the form of songs, then even the minds of materialists will be attracted. Proper Kirtan means to reject dry, unauthorized and advertised. Proper Kirtan means to reject dry, unauthorized and adverse Kirtan. That's amazing. So anyway, you can speak into that. I'm sure the camera can hear it.
Okay. Hare Krishna. So I had
It's
two
a volume.
questions. So one is about the
speaker.
verse.
On the
Hold up.
speaker.
So it's kind of like a technical question. So Srila Prabhupada mentions penance a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look up a dictionary meaning of the word penance, it means to like, do some type of activity to free one from like some sinful reaction that one committed. And just as far as my understanding goes, like, so this word here that's being mentioned for penance is tapasya. And so Prabhupada would generally, at least in Sanskrit terms, prayaschitta is like, seems like that's what that's referring to, at least like the Western understanding of penance. I don't know if you can like elaborate on that more.
Yeah, it's simple. Like, the prayaschitta is usually done for like a particular sin that you have committed. You perform this prayaschitta and you'll be freed of that sin.
Yeah.
But what to speak of the sin of being forgetful of Krishna? So for that, we perform this tapasya. It's like, prayaschitta, for example, a prayaschitta, okay, so you, let's just say you did something that you're not supposed to do. You do a prayaschitta, you do this, and this, and then you're freed of that reaction, you're done with the prayaschitta. But tapasya, you do constantly. Nayam deho deha bhajamni loke kashtan kamanarate vidbhujamye tapo divyam putraka yena satmad yasmad brahma sokyam tvanantam. So that's the difference.
Yeah.
Prayaschitta, you're done. Tapasya is eternal. Nara Narayana Rishis are performing austerities for our benefit even right now. The Sapta Rishis are performing austerities for our benefit even right now. Srila Prabhupada and all the great acharyas are performing austerities for our benefit even right now. They're not performing a prayaschitta, they're performing tapasya. Because when you perform tapasya, Krishna says, what do we get? We get yoga bala, right? We get strength of performing this yoga. And you become a sukhi nara. Sounds like a Japanese car, doesn't it, Abhidhan? When you become a sukhi nara, you become a happy person. And by performing tapasya, become a happy person. So like that. Is that okay?
Yeah, so just to clarify,
Mm-hmm.
because just in the West, the penance is like, it's understood as like you've done something wrong, so therefore. So then tapasya it does nothing to do with one trying to get free from like sinful reactions.
It has everything to do with getting rid of the biggest sinful reaction, which is to forget Krishna. That is tapo divyam, that is divine austerity. And then after that, then we perform the austerity of pleasing the spiritual. Then when the austerity is divine, then at that point of time, we perform that austerity in order to show our love for our spiritual master.
Okay.
The minute we chant Hare Krishna, then our sins go away. But then this tapasya that we perform, the divine austerity that we perform, is to show our love for the spiritual master.
Yeah, I think I understand. The tapasya and then, was it you?
Prayaschitta.
Yeah, no, but you...
Divya tapasya. Divya tapa, yeah.
There's two different signs.
Divine austerity.
Okay. All right, I got that down.
Okay? Anything else?
Yeah, so my other question...
You're teaching me. How are you asking me questions?
No, I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
My other question is, I've thought about this somewhat, and just wanted to ask you. So, Guru Maharaj mentioned in that class just about like eating karmi grains and how that's one of the biggest problems. So, I'm just kind of like wondering, I understand like the science of like you eat karmi grains and your mind becomes contaminated, but like I'm wondering exactly like how is that like manifesting on like a macro level? Like on some small level, I can see somebody eats karmi grains and their mind's disturbed and like whatever, But I'm just wondering like if that statement that Guru Maharaj made, that could be like elaborated upon.
Yeah. It's simple, and I was actually doing research in this regard. And I was actually saying, how is it there's so many disciples of Srila Prabhupada, and they all had children, especially in America, most of them had children, and most of their children are not practicing Krishna consciousness sincerely. And I really wondered what happened, what is the thing. And then I inquired from one family whose where all the three children are taking seriously to Krishna consciousness. And I really wondered why this is the case. And when I did more research, I found out that the family of the devotees who are taking up Krishna consciousness seriously, their father was so heavily against karmic grains that he would never let them eat it. And one time, the mother forced the entire family to go and go out and eat in a restaurant. And the father went there and he would just sit and he wouldn't eat anything and he would listen to a lecture. Brutal. That's Janardhan Krishna Prabhu's father, by the way. And they all came out fine. And you can see that propensity is there. Okay, wow, they're not influenced. Because we cannot understand the influence of the karmic grains that we eat. Because it's the influence of all these people. That is why how many people within the Krishna conscious movement, at least in North America, are serious to follow the 4 regulative principles? How many second generation people are taken up to it? Why? Because if you're eating karmic grains, the desires of the karmis are completely imposed upon you. They're completely imposed upon you. Just think of the most innocent looking karmic grain is the bread, right? You just go buy bread from, I guess, Wonder Bread, that's what it's called. I don't know, what are the other brands? I don't know. Oh, y'all don't know? That's also very nice. Huh? Okay, I don't even know how to say that. So anyway, you can go to New York, and in New York you get the best bread, because of the quality of the water. New York is famous for its pizza and its bread because of the bagels. Or you go get a New York bagel, and I eat it. I was like, oh, what the heck is this? Anyway, so, you just eat it. It looks so innocent, But who is the guy who made that bread? What is he thinking about? What is he thinking about? They have no conception of all these things, but they somehow or the other, they simply eat it, and you eat it. Okay, if you eat it once, I'm still chanting Hare Krishna, what's the big deal? But if you keep eating it repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly, it has a serious effect on the mind. And disciples of Srila Prabhupada definitely receive some special mercy, no doubt. But is that guaranteed for their children? We have to find out. We have to ask. How many devotees are going and eating in vegan restaurants? What is the consciousness of the people, and what are we undertaking? What are we taking in? And then when the absolute truth is spoken, they get very uncomfortable. Why? Because it's a draining effect. It's a draining effect. People's minds get completely drained. It becomes completely sinful. They have sinful ideas. Being, having Janardhan Krishna Prabhu as a really good friend of mine is a great blessing for me from Krishna. And he was telling me that so many of the Gurukulis, they have illicit sex, they smoke weed, they this and that. They maybe don't eat meat, which is okay, I guess it's fine. But illicit sex and intoxication is a common thing among all the Gurukulis. It's just like the Hindus, they also have kids and they're Hindu, they may be vegetarian, but they may be doing all these things. Some may be more pious than this. But there's no difference, actually. There's no difference. Why? You eat karmic grains, and when you're eating karmic grains, you will not want to be in the association of devotees. You eat karmic grains, and you go and associate with karmis in your school. What's going to happen? You're going to become a karmi like them. You go, eat karmic grains, listen to karmi music, listen to karmis teach you. What's going to happen to you? Destroyed. So that's an austerity that needs to be performed. That's why even when we go, even if we are living somewhere in a hotel room, we just take an Instapot. And in Instapot, we know how to make a khichdi real quick, and we take that for the whole day. It may not be the most palatable, but anyway, it's prasadam, that's all. It's Krishna prasadam. So we understand like that. And I have a lot more thoughts about it. Maybe I can give another class some other time in that regard. But I have a lot of thoughts about this, actually.
Yeah, I'm starting to think more about it, but yeah, it makes sense. Just to kind of I guess, fortify your statements. I think that, maybe most of the devotees here, at least like me, and you, and also especially me, just traveling all around like the world and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of devotees actually, they do eat karmic grains, And it's not like something, because we live in the temple and like that, and like devotees come to the temple atmosphere, but like so many things go on, like in the name of like convenience and sense gratification and whatever.
Be
so
practical,
it's actually a common thing. You don't really realize it till you kind of associate more closely.
Prabhu, I've gone to the house of so many grihasthas while I'm traveling all over North America, and only in 2 houses did I not find karmic grains.
Yeah, exactly.
Vedavyas Priya Prabhu's house and Sri Rasham Prabhu's house. I don't know. All the other houses I went,
Yeah.
I saw that stuff there. What's this doing here? What is this doing? It's Western poison, you know. What is this doing? This is not prasadam. What is this doing here? What is this doing? And I pointed out, and like, this way, that way, this way, that way. And then there comes to a point of time where grace says, you're no longer welcome in my home. Okay, all right. You know, who's losing? Who's losing out? You want to be in the association of insincere people? Okay, go ahead, do it. You know, but we continue to preach. Anyway, anything else? Anything online? Mataji's? Yes. I think it's a Topaz Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Can you turn on the volume over there, please, on the mic?
So,
Oh, the mic is not working. Okay. Okay. Yeah, go on.
okay, I was wondering, so people start coming around and they want to cook for you and all that kind of stuff. To what point are they like their food no longer considered karmic grains in practicing Krishna consciousness?
They're following the 4 regulative principles and they start chanting Hare Krishna.
For like how long?
I mean, it's not like, I chant Hare Krishna today. Can I cook for you? No, but like, you know, and there's no like exact formula. You know, at this point of time, like the grains stop being karmic grains. It's not exactly like that. It requires some intelligence. You know, it requires some guidance. You know, so yeah, I mean, ideally, like, you know, we don't eat it. You know, we'll only eat what devotees who are chanting 16 rounds. That's what they do. 16 rounds for regulative principles. That's when we eat what they cook. And yeah, I may be a little fanatical about this, but you know, it's good. You know, there's no need to eat actually. There's no need to eat. Even my mom, she's like, oh, if you don't eat what I cook, what's going to happen to me? And nothing's going to happen to you. And you know what? Guess what? Miraculously, nothing happened to her. You know, and like, you know, she's like, oh, I want to express my love for you, like, you know, by like cooking for you. If you love me so much, you start following, they follow the 4 days. You know, if you love me so much, you throw out Sai Baba, throw out all these people, start chanting 16 rounds for 6 months. Next time I meet you, maybe then, you know. But that much love is not there, you know. That much love is not there, you know. So, you know, we should not fall for, how do they feel? I don't give a fig what they feel. I made a promise to my spiritual master, and I'm keeping that promise. That's all, you know. See, let the whole world go to hell. You know, we have to follow the orders of our guru, that's all. That's it. You know, it's like, this is the most important thing. There's nothing more important than that. That's it. Just do it. It may hurt their feelings. Okay, it'll hurt the feelings of my Bhakti Lata. How about that, you know? Do you love me so much? What about this? I've taken vows. You're living like an animal, but I'm taking vows here, you know? What about that? So we understand it like this. Is that okay? Anything else? Okay, I've gone on for too long. We can experience Krishna in the form of his prasadam and be enjoyed by the prasadam. Srimad Bhagavatam ki, you have something? No? Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripasandabhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namah.